Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to literally peel back the bumpy, shiny exterior of the world's absolute favorite superfood to reveal the incredibly complex truth hidden inside. Whether you're spreading it on toast, mashing it into guacamole, or tossing it into a morning smoothie, the avocado has completely taken over our diets. But there is a massive story behind this little green fruit. We're talking ancient history, cutting-edge nutritional science, millions of dollars in industry marketing, and honestly, a very heavy environmental footprint. To kick things off, we really need to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this obsession. Get this, US per capita consumption of avocados has exploded by 440% in just the last 20 years. 440%. That massive surge in popularity contributes to a staggering 11 billion pounds of avocados being eaten globally every single year. It's safe to say it's no longer just a seasonal treat. It is a full-blown global dietary staple. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, the global avocado obsession. Then, the true nutritional science, industry funding and marketing, environmental and social costs, and finally, consuming avocados responsibly. Let's jump right in. Section 1, the global avocado obsession. Let's figure out exactly where our modern avocado craze actually started, because it goes way farther back than you might think. Okay, this is wild. Millions of years ago, back in the Pleistocene era actually, avocados were eaten whole by 100-pound giant megafauna. These massive animals would just digest the fruit and disperse those giant seeds across the land. Fast forward a bit to 1856, and the fruit finally makes its first appearance in California. But the real game changer? That happened in 1925 when a mail carrier named Rudolf Haas created the resilient Haas variety. This thing was tough enough to withstand commercial shipping and absolutely thrive in the climate. And the final piece of the puzzle was a 2004 USDA ruling that allowed Mexican avocados to be imported into all 50 US states year-round. That single decision triggered an absolute trade boom. Section 2, the true nutritional science. Now that we understand the history, let's explore why we even consider it a superfood in the first place by looking at the hard science. Well, the science actually completely backs up that health halo. Harvard research looking at 30 years of data found that eating the equivalent of one avocado a week significantly lowers cardiovascular disease risk by 16% and coronary heart disease risk by 21%. It even lowers diabetes risk by 20% in high-risk groups. But wait! Here's the catch. Half an avocado packs 161 calories and 15 grams of fat. So Harvard researchers remind us that you have to use the swap, don't add rule. You only get these massive health benefits when you replace saturated fats like butter or cheese with avocado. If you're just piling avocado on top of your normal diet, you're pretty much just looking at unwanted weight gain. But here's where things get super nuanced, especially when we talk about gut health. For over 15 years, scientists thought avocados were high in sorbitol, which is a sugar that triggers irritable bowel syndrome. But researchers at Monash University recently made a smashing discovery. They found out avocados don't actually contain sorbitol at all. Instead, they contain a highly unique sugar polyol called perseoltol, which actually decreases as the fruit ripens. And this brilliantly illustrates why this matters so much for your digestion. Perseoltol is structurally larger than sorbitol, so as it moves through your digestive tract, it draws all this extra water into the small intestine. Because it's large, it mostly just passes right into the large intestine where your gut bacteria ferment it. That whole process creates gas and a laxative effect, which basically means even though avocados are amazing for your heart, this unique sugar polyol can be a huge trigger for people with sensitive guts or IBS. Section 3, industry funding and marketing. So, the crucial point here is that while avocados definitely have real benefits, we really must look at how these health narratives are being shaped behind the scenes. Because it brings up a totally fascinating question. Who exactly is funding all these scientific studies that boldly declare the avocado a miracle food? Food politics expert Marion Nessel points out something super rare here, an industry-funded study that actually yielded negative results. A 6-month trial, funded directly by the Haas Avocado Board, set out to prove that eating an avocado a day would improve cognitive health as we age, but the results showed it did not significantly alter cognitive function at all. But here is the crazy part. Despite those negative results, 9 of the 11 authors, who, remember, received financial support from the Haas Avocado Board, applied a massive positive spin to the conclusion. They basically wrote that additional work is needed to determine if avocados contribute to healthy cognitive aging. As Nestle points out, this perfectly demonstrates how millions of dollars in marketing and research actively work to maintain the fruit's superfood status. They are always pushing for more studies to keep the avocado in a positive light, no matter what the data says. Section 4, Environmental and Social Costs. Now let's pivot and see how this builds into the absolute most serious part of our explainer, the hidden environmental and social realities of the industry. If you put an avocado orchard right next to a native forest, the environmental contrast is honestly stark. Avocado trees have these very shallow, horizontal roots that just spread right across the top of the soil rather than digging deep down. And because of this poor absorption design, an avocado orchard actually requires 1.6 times more water than a traditional forest, all while absorbing significantly fewer carbon emissions from our atmosphere. Because of that poor water absorption, global avocado production extracts an estimated 9.5 billion liters of water every single day. To put that into perspective for you, that is the exact equivalent of draining 3,800 Olympic swimming pools daily. And this is often happening in regions that are already experiencing severe water stress. And the stakes regarding this water usage are absolutely staggering. Down in the Uruapan municipality in Mexico, the massive scale of water extraction from underground aquifers is actually literally triggering localized earthquakes. As the water gets rapidly sucked out to feed the orchards, these giant underground caverns are opening up, which causes the ground to literally shift. Then, of course, there's the land itself. To meet our huge 24/7 demand, the Michoacan region of Mexico has cleared native forests equivalent to the size of 196,000 football fields. This rapid deforestation is replacing incredibly diverse ecosystems with just endless avocado monocultures, and it is directly threatening the natural habitat of the endangered monarch butterfly. Furthermore, this green gold rush has sparked a really complex social crisis. See, Michoacan produces 80% of Mexico's avocados, generating a whopping $2.8 billion in annual exports. But this massive influx of cash has attracted an elevated presence of drug cartels. These groups demand extortion money from local farmers, they threaten food safety inspectors, and they've drastically increased regional violence. Today, farmers are literally forced to take a chunk of their profits just to invest heavily in specialty security fencing and guards, just to protect their crops and their own lives. Section 5, Consuming Avocados Responsibly. Okay, take a breath. After uncovering those heavy truths, you might be wondering what you should take away from this as an everyday consumer. First off, let's definitely keep things in perspective. While the avocado's water footprint is undeniably massive and that localized deforestation is a severe issue, producing animal proteins is still vastly more resource intensive. Producing the equivalent weight in beef still uses roughly 10 times more water than avocado production. So it really is all relative when we're looking at our broader food systems. But if you want to eat your avocados more responsibly, there are a few direct steps you can take right now. First, buy local avocados if you can, specifically during their natural season, which is roughly March through July in places like California. Second, always look for Fair Trade International certifications. That helps ensure better labor conditions and basic environmental standards. Third, don't forget the Harvard nutritional rule. Swap, don't just add them to a high-calorie diet. And finally, hey, you can always try sustainable alternatives. Right now in the UK, there's a massive trend of pea toast, which is exactly what it sounds like, mashing local, budget-friendly peas with a little lemon and mint for a delicious, low-footprint alternative to avocado toast. So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this final thought. Knowing the incredibly complex web of massive water usage, cartel extortion, shifting gut science, and millions in industry spin, how are you going to approach your next bowl of guacamole? Will understanding the true hidden cost of this green gold change how you consume it? Thanks so much for learning with me today, and make sure you keep asking those big questions about the food on your plate.